Certification.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Ray Corcoran, Director of Facilities for Northwestern. So the LEED certification awarded to the building is awarded on the design, construction and energy management of the building. So I'll give you some examples. Within the building there are multiple devices located that can conserve energy and stop energy being wasted. For example, in my office there is a sensor that tells the computerized management system whether there's someone occupying the room. So when the sensor senses nobody's here, it will actually turn the lights off and reduce the air conditioning. Doesn't actually turn it off completely, because obviously you don't want to walk into a very warm office, but it will reduce it by 90%. So this is aimed at conserving energy. So obviously an empty room, why would you waste money, energy, the resources of Qatar, and the purpose is to reduce that energy footprint, as we would like to call it.
For LEED.
Okay, so this was a very long process. The building is actually paid for, designed and constructed by Qatar Foundation. The building itself is a Qatar Foundation asset, and they did a lot of work working with various designers and various architects into making the interior and the operations of the building very efficient. So that was how the leadership of environment people were able to award the certificate. They looked at many aspects, how the building was built, what energy was used to build it, what materials were used. So for instance, something very simple, the concrete here, a lot of the materials came from the Gulf area or from Turkey or from Iraq, because it's close by, so therefore a lot of energy wasn't wasted in transporting it. Historically, the concrete may have come from India, or it may have come from further afield, so there's a lot more energy and wastage used in just transporting it. So there was a lot of focus on how much energy was used, what materials were used, how can they transport it, and the whole project team of Qatar Foundation was very focused on minimising those carbon footprints and those those energy uses. So as the building operator, we partnered with the design people in Qatar Foundation to allow them to understand how we use and operate the building. So for instance, after school is finished, 6-7 o'clock PM, we reduce the air conditioning for the whole building. So instead of trying to reach 22 degrees, we turn the temperature up to 26, 28 degrees. So it's not that cold, and again, we're probably saving 30 to 40% of the energy bill, because cooling is one of the most inefficient energy uses. You spend a lot of energy trying to cool a space. So that was a great thing. We've had some very good feedback from our friends and colleagues at Qatar Foundation that they've seen that the demand for cooling has kind of dropped down, and we try to make it as level as we can, because efficiencies for engineering equipment is, if you can try and run it at a steady state, makes the equipment last longer instead of it going up and down and up and down. Perhaps when you get a little bit older, when you start driving a car, your instructor will tell you it's far better to keep a constant 50 kilometers an hour than going 70-30, 70-30. It makes the equipment last longer. So that also helps Qatar Foundation be efficient with its money, and it helps us to keep what we call life term of the equipment. So instead of having to change it out and replace it every 4 or 6 years, maybe we can change it out every 6 or 7 years, and that way it tends to give a longer life of efficiency. Hope that helps.
Yeah, that's
It is.